Consider the duck by ThatJerkRaga. Ducks are a polyphyletic group of birds of the family Anatidae, characterized by stretched bodies and long necks, although not as long as geese or swans. Of the aquatic persuasion, they thrive on ponds, streams, lakes, rivers, reservoirs, swamps, estuaries, and even the open sea, utilizing their webbed feet and hydrophobic feathers to quickly and comfortably navigate the bodies of water they call home. Known for their varied diets, questionable mating habits, and iconic quack, ducks are a common source of regard, enjoyment, and even fascination by all those who choose to spend their time along local shorelines. Lucy was among those deep in the clutches of the duck's allure, although she cared little for their biological nature. For the young Keomani, her unlikely enchantment was philosophical in character. Ducks could fly, the ultimate symbol of freedom and independence, and yet they all inevitably returned to the water. In fact, Lucy had noticed they labored and strained in flight, short, stubby wings necessitating a rapid flapping and providing little opportunity for calm or fine soaring. It was in the water where the duck became a picture of grace, gliding across the surface as if by magic, no effort required. For them, water was home. For Lucy, water was death. Even now, the bench from which the young cat observed the source of her curiosity had been carefully chosen. It lay the absolute closest to the edge of the lake in Middle Park she could stomach, selected by trial and error, including a rather humiliating episode where she found herself awoken by several strangers after approaching a hair too close and losing consciousness as she was gripped by fear. Thankfully, no one had yet called an ambulance, and Lucy was able to convince the Good Samaritans that she would be fine. Even at this otherwise safe distance, she could still feel a whisper of panic in the back of her mind. The fur on her nape was raised, her tail stiff and twitching, ears flattened back. Her fingers dug into the weathered wood, claws out, searching for purchase as if a momentary slip would spell doom. But she had to come here. She had to understand. While Lucy stood terrified of any body of water larger than a bathtub, the duck showed no fear. "How do you do it?" she would ask them. Was always the infuriating reply. But it went beyond mere tolerance of the suffocating waters. Ducks were utterly reliant on the water for their very survival. Without the various waterways they called home, the duck could not feed, could not rest, could not nest. If anything, Lucy felt the complete dependence on water should only make it more unsettling. The duck was unfazed. To the contrary, in Lucy's estimation, ducks adored the water. She watched as they flitted and danced across the surface, happy and serene, no sign of trepidation or resentment towards the entity they were dependent upon. They preened and dove, scattered droplets through air to catch the sunlight in a dazzling array of shimmering rainbows. Had the water never threatened to take something they loved? Threatened to take their own lives? Threatened to withdraw all which they depended on? If it had, the duck must forgive easily. Lucy did not forgive easily. She never liked that about herself. Did the duck love the water? This was the question Lucy always found herself working towards. Could one love something one was utterly dependent upon? What was the difference between genuine deep-rooted affection and animalistic attachment to the necessities of life? Lucy needed oxygen, but she did not love it, so the feelings could be separated. But where was the dividing line? "Do you love the water?" she would ask, unable to decide for herself. Was always the infuriating reply. And what of obsession? Could that be the answer, instead of love or dependence? Lucy had once been accused of obsession by a strange man in a strange place many years ago. Is the duck obsessed with water? What was the difference between obsession and love? Between obsession and necessity? Lucy did not know. She wished she did. The information would be useful. The Keomani had come to the duck searching for answers on her fear of water, but again found herself wondering how healthy it was to love something, or someone, one needs for their very survival. The duck seemed fine with the arrangement. The time passed quickly and Lucy had to leave. She had a date, and the thought of it made her heart flutter. "Is that my answer?" she offered as a parting question. Was always the infuriating reply.